It's all in the title, folks. A noob guide. That doesn't mean it's a guide for noobs. There's a huge difference here, but I think this may help you out. Go ahead and hit escape on a PC or hit the options button on a controller to bring up this page. And let's start off with the very top left here. Under character info, nice and slow, no rushing. Go ahead and select that. From here, it's a little bit glitchy there. That's what all those clickings are. Make sure you pay attention to your stat points here that you're going to accumulate as you level up, because I wasn't given any notification. I was just kind of going through the motions and everything. You can reset them as well if you've made some mistakes here at the bottom left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It appears to be free. Look at my gold at the top, 370,212. I still have 370,212. Now we're going to go over here. As you start putting points into each stat and you increase it by 1, it shows you a before and after. This is what it's going to look like by putting simply 1 point into strength. What if I put 2? Etc, etc. I'm going to go ahead up to about 24. I'm going to go down to wisdom. See? Now it's showing you a combined of what it's going to look like in total. Just overall. Okay? What's written in black, like the darker, that I think is just from the strength. The wisdom is what you get from the green. It's like it's separate, if that makes any sense. It's total combined in total, because wisdom will also help increase your base strength. So the stuff that's in light green is being affected by the combination of both stats. Anyhow, bottom left, hit X to apply. Once you're done with this screen, you back out once, and that's where you could go down to reset your stats if you made a mistake. So you don't even have to worry about it. Over here, you can look at your different sets, and you can even rename it if you want. You can tab over and have a completely different loadout. You can have up to 3. Just wanted to briefly show you that. Here, obviously, you would look at your armor. Oh, E, it means it's equipped. Oh, this is a chest piece. It's going to show you the before and after so that you can compare and decide if you want to do something with that set that you just got. That piece of armor. Now we're going to back out. Going to bring this up again. Now let's go to skills. Not going to touch the transcendent skills because I don't really know much about them. You can read those on your own. This is your 1 defensive skill. So in the game, you can have 2 sets of weapons equipped. So I chose to have sword and shield and then book and wand as my second set, which is giving me the ability to be like a paladin. Here, I believe you can only choose 1 defensive skill. I strongly suggest that whatever your main weapon is that you choose, that's probably maybe going to be your main defensive skill, but it may not. So simply read the skill and look at which of the 2 you want, and then select it, and it'll go here. At the top here, you can see again, active skills. When you would go ahead and you would select whatever skill you want here. Let's say you want this one, and you want it to replace any spot. You can have it go anywhere here in the location. You just click it, and then it adds it, and that's it. As you level up, say I'm not 24 yet, so I can't have Annihilating Slash. And then it shows you right there as well, under each skill. Let me go to this one, for example. You could see right above the add skill, where it says curse damage over time. That's at level 1. There's a slash. The next one over is if it's at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5. Because you can level up your skills up to a number of 5. This one, I've leveled up to 3, because it's obvious. This one, I haven't leveled it up. It's just that 1. Don't go down here to level it up. Here, you can just remove the slot or change the location if you wanted to switch it with another slot. So if I want to level up Touch of Despair, I'm going to go up here to Touch of Despair. I'm going to click on Skill Growth, whatever your appropriate button prompt is going to be for that. And then from here, it's going to look a little wee bit complicated, but it isn't. Again, level 1 is what it's currently at. The bright green is what it's going to be at once it levels up. If you just go right now and hold the X button down, or whatever the button prompt is for you, and you level it up, there's only a small percentage of a chance that it's only going to take up one of the growth materials here at the right. I've got 94. Okay, watch, I'll do it. That just brought up the bar a little bit by 50%. That was an immediate growth. See, it took one. But now I'm going to have to do it again and again. That's where above the level up at the bottom middle, there's a thing that says continue until next level. That's what that means. You could push down on that right analog stick for me, for example. Now I'm guaranteed it's going to level up in one button click. That doesn't mean it's only going to take one growth material. It might take 2 or 3 or 4 on average. But now I'm going to go and level it up. So I don't have to keep doing it. It's just going to keep sucking up your materials until you get it done. See? Now I'm at level 2. And so I've leveled it up. I'll do it one more time just to show you. See? 1, 2, 3. It took 3 there if you want to count it. Every time it glowed. So now we're at 3. That's it. Okay, so that's done. Passive skills. Yes, I went over this quickly. Passive skills is the same thing. Same thing. And this is your passive location down here. You can't put the passives to the left. Okay? And the same thing down here. You can have different quick slots for different spells. For different skill sets to go along with the different weapon sets that you can have, right? When it comes to this here, if you do contracts or dungeons, you're going to get some teardrops, and I'll show you that in a moment. That is how you level up your weapon skill mastery. Technically, the order of what is weapon set 1 and 2 doesn't matter from a damage output. However, when you use your mastery skills, your points that I'll show you, the teardrop, water drop things, only 50% of what goes towards level 1 will trickle into level 2. Or not level 2, set 2. As you can see, the bar here is a little bit more in than on the wand. But I've used the same amount of water drops. Let me just show you what I mean. It's a currency that essentially you're getting. Let's go into my inventory. This is what it looks like right here. Very hard to miss. Called a training due. Okay? You've got about 24 hours from the time you acquire it to use it. So me, I would just go ahead and follow the button prompt and use it. How many? All 5. Max quantity, whatever. Use it. Boom. 100 points times 5 earned 500 to sword. Now I go back to skill. I mean, if you remember, the bar here wasn't so close to the S. It was a little bit more to the 0. And again, you can click on this and you can see basically what this would do for you in the long term of things. But again, I don't want to get too deep into that. Now, another thing I want to show you, which is important. You know how I leveled up this skill here? Skill growth? Let's go ahead and do that again. See that item on the right? Quality active book? Skill growth book? Look at the bottom right where it says show item info. For me, it's L3, so I'm going to push down on that. Now look at the new square that popped up. I'm going to hit square for how to acquire. Now, there's 2 things. There's the top bar where it says codex, and we can tab between codex and merchant. That's the only 2 different subsections, if you will, of how to acquire them. But under codex, you could do it through adventure, which is questing, and exploration, which is kind of like side quests, I guess you could say. So let's say we pick adventure. Well, this is self-explanatory. This is just your chapters. This is actually going through the story of the game. You could click it, and this is how you would go about going to final rewards at the bottom. Push down the right analog stick. And then there would be a thing, a button prompt, acquire your rewards. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there. I don't think they just automatically get dumped in your inventory from what I remember. You have to acquire them manually going through this menu, okay? The other way you could do it again, exploration. Let's say Windchill Shores. Well, where is that? Let's say you didn't do that side quest and it brings up, this menu here. If you're on a computer, you can just take your mouse cursor and go right to Spiral Cliff. You might be like, what? Bottom left of the green triangle share and chat button there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit X to select it on my controller. Now look at the bottom left. You see that? Now I can move over with the D-pad. And I can go up to Spiral Cliff. Because that's the location of where this side mission is, if you will. Now I'm going to click it. Boom. It brings you right to where you need to go. So now you could go at the bottom where it says pin settings. And you can click square. For me, you could end up dropping a personal pin if you wanted. And now you could go to that location and single out that event to get that material that you need. Alternatively, back out. What was the other way? Tab over. Oh, you could get it from the merchant. Castleton is the first place that you're going to go to. Oh, Lastlin. Okay, so let's select him. Oh, he brings you right there on the map. Oh, would you look at that? Isn't that convenient? I happen to be right there. We're going to back out. We're going to back out. Now we're going to go to him.
Take your time browsing.
Quality active skill growth book. So you select it. You would go ahead and you would craft it. So once you're done your story missions, once you're done your side quests or whatever, I believe, and I could be wrong here, I'm just a noob myself, hence noob tutorial. This may be the only way that you're going to be able to acquire them is by crafting them yourself. So you select it. Oh, quality parchment. How the hell do I get that? There's no acquire item button. No, but in the new square that popped up, you see at the bottom right of that, see all menus. Right? In the new window that just popped up. See all menus. So push down on the left analog stick on a controller. Ah, acquired from. Let's highlight that and select it. Again, we can hunt or we can do events from the top bar here. Again, events are dynamic events. Those don't always happen, but they dynamically come back, hence the word dynamic event. So you would select the wolf one, for example. Oh, would you look at that? It happens to be active, and we know this because, well, the green wolf icon thingamabobber is glowing. So again, you would place a pin there or whatever, and you would go to that event. If you don't want to do an event, a dynamic event rather, you could go on the hunt. You could do abyssal contracts, or you can hunt specific enemies. So let's do abyssal contract, for example. Let's say level 20. That's the earliest that you could do one of these abyssal contracts, it appears to be. Yeah, because as we go down, the level goes higher. Okay. So this will be the first one that you'd be able to do. So again, you would select it. Oh, would you look at that? It shows you where it is. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory there. Same thing with the hunt. Go back. Hunting. Maybe we want to... Oh, this one's not in numerical order. Oh, we can get them from a brutal wolf. Select it. Where are the brutal wolves? They're in this area. Okay? So that's how you would do that to gather the materials, again, to craft your own active skill growth books. Yeah, they're growth books for your active skills. It's going to be the same thing for your passive skills. Same thing. Right? Quality parchment, quality mandrid ore. If you don't know where to get that, you do the same steps I just showed you for quality parchment. So that's that. Now, we're going to do something much easier, hopefully. Now I'm going to show you this here. So we've done the character info, right? Your stat points, your armor. We've done the skills, how you place them, how you level them up, and how you acquire the materials in order to do so. Now let's go to equipment enchanting. You don't have to go to a vendor. You don't have to go to a workbench. None of that shit. Equipment enchanting. Again, I'm not going to teach you the transfer and the traits. This video is going to be 6 hours long. In the same fashion that we've leveled up our skills, now I'm going to show you how to level up your armor and your weapons. One thing to keep in mind, which I did tell you about the skills, I think 5 is the max, if I'm not mistaken. When it comes to this here, you can see the number. 6 is the maximum for green. Blues are 9, and then epic and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too sure about. If you're like, hey, I got a weapon or a piece of armor, but it's not in this list, then you can't level it up. You can't do grays, as far as I know. I've never seen one show up on the list. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let's say I wanted to level up my blue ring. Yeah, I don't have any of that rare accessory growth stone. But for the sake of it, we're going to do the show item info. Push down on the left analog stick. Tells you that at the bottom middle there. How to acquire. It's the same thing again. But this one, for accessories, rings, boots, gloves, weapons, it's a lot easier because you could just farm these secret dungeons. Secret dungeons are solo dungeons with different floors. And it's got one boss per floor. You're just thrown in a circle with a boss. You just smack him for a couple of minutes. And then you're guaranteed to get some loot. Again, you could do arch bosses. You could do the rift stone. You could do the hunting. The stuff that you can actually highlight here in purple. You can't do a guild raid or an abyssal contract. And again, you can get it from a merchant or a codex or by filling out your codex. Again, adventure is the story. Exploration, I think, is like side missions. Those are not repeatable. And you can get it from the merchant. You cannot get them through events. But again, you can just farm secret dungeons, arch bosses. Okay? So that's how you would go ahead doing that. I'm going to go and do one that I actually do want to level up. Again, same thing. Continue until next level. You remember that now from me showing you the skills. I'm just doing this for the sake of conversation. Push down on the right analog stick. Level up. Costs a little bit of coin. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it did it.
Look around carefully, and you'll know what you need.
And then we've leveled it up. And again, the items, you could track them, right? It's the same concept. It's much simpler, like I was saying, with the weapons and the rings and all that, to level this up. Again, you can subcategorize it by just weapons, just armor, just accessories. But farming the stuff for this is an absolute easier thing to do than for the skills. 17 minutes. I wish I could have done this in 5 minutes, but I am not good at guides or explaining myself, especially on something I don't even know much to begin with. But I truly feel like this might make a little bit of a difference. Again, go to character info. Play with your stats. Don't be shy to reset them. This is very important. It's going to make you a lot stronger. I forgot to do this, like I said, and I got my ass kicked. I died for the first time at level 21 during a mission. And then I went, put all my stat points in. I went, leveled up my skills, right? Leveled those up from like 1 to 3 or 2. I did that. And then I went and I leveled up through equipment enchanting all of my armor that was at 0. 0. And it was gray for the most part, so I had to go to the armor smith and buy some armor. That's another maybe last thing I could maybe cover. You don't get a lot of loot in this game from what I'm seeing personally. So again, you can look at the map of major towns, right? This is where you'll get your accessories. This is where you'll get your armor. Pretty self-explanatory. That's where you'll get your weapons. So I suppose I could touch base on that. I should have done this, I'm sorry. Again, helm, cloak, right? Pretty self-explanatory. You're not going to get a lot of these from drops. You're going to want to look at what you want. I went for the ironclad because I wanted the extra defense. See, the base there is 72 on the right. The base on these are only 42. But maybe they give you a lot of melee evasion and you want that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you will want to come and buy your armor and your weapons and your accessories and then level them up. Don't expect to just do questing and get a bunch of loot, because I've gotten, in all my playtime, I have gotten 1 pair of gloves and 1 pair of boots, and I ended up just destroying them. I didn't even want them. Okay? Which, again, you can go to your inventory. And if you look at the very bottom, very, very bottom, it's going to be different on PC. Push down right on the analog stick. This is how you go to do trade extractions. That's like some higher end stuff. You could go ahead and dissolve it. It'll show you stuff that you can dissolve. See, I don't need this. This is a leather item. I don't want that, so I'll select it, throw it in there. Let's say I wanted to throw this in there. I will go ahead and select it, make sure that you don't want it. And then when you're done, follow the button prompt, hold to dissolve, and you'll get some magic powder and potentially 0 to 1 quality magic powder, which are some good items to have when you're crafting and just doing stuff in general. 20 minutes. Sweet Jesus. Thumbs up if you are crazy and you actually liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and I'll stuff you in one of these boxes. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, well, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.